Hey guys. Um excuse me. I am holding the camera, so if it's shaky, that's why. I just feel that it's way more intimate to hold the camera and to move you around with me than just to sit still and, talk to you. I don't know. Maybe that'll change over time as I get more comfortable filming and talking. Also, some of my videos may be small at first, like really short. Um and that's just going to change as I grow, I know. But I'm new to this and not used to it yet. So bear with me. And also, I'm having something to drink because my mouth is getting really dry when I talk. Who knew? So I hope alcohol does not offend you. Yeah. Okay. Um. Anyway, hello. Uh. Today I really wanted to share with you stuff about the goddess, the way I see her, at least. In particular, my matron, I guess, if you want to say that. I don't consider myself Wiccan, so those I don't really feel like I need to use those terms, but occasionally I will. It just makes things easier, right? So, it's my matron is the Morrigan, or I could just call her Morgan. Um, um, she's really special to me. Um, when I was little, I I had a really I had a pretty bad upbringing, and a really bad relationship with my mom. And so I always had this vision um, of women um, as being like rough, I guess. Not necessarily in a bad way, but just rough, not gentle. And I think that has really influenced my working with goddesses and female spirits, which is what I primarily do. Which I guess you could argue is because I'm like mothering myself now or seeking a mother still. Um, but anywho, uh, all through my childhood, I was obsessed with the myths of Arthur, like King Arthur, and you'll see that the more you watch my channel's videos. Uh, my spirituality is almost based around it in a lot of ways. Particularly in the beginning, it was. I work with Morgan Le Fay, which I personally consider to be an aspect of the Morrigan. I know some people don't. They get really mad about that. But I think that all of the characters in King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table's stories, all the cycles that they have, are just literary incarnations of Celtic deities. That's just me. Maybe you don't believe that. That's fine. Um, but just respect my opinion on it, and I'll respect yours. Um, but yeah, I think Morgan Le Fay. I was really attracted to her as a kid. I really love villains, um, because I was raised to believe I was a villain in a lot of ways. And I mean, I know I'm not now, right? But I was raised to believe that, and Morgan Le Fay was just a symbol to me of someone who, in all the incarnations, I never thought that she was truly evil. I just didn't. I never bought that. Like Helena Bonham Carter played her, in in the series Merlin back in the '90s, right? Miniseries, and I just loved her. I loved it. She just touched me. I, I just felt so drawn to that character. This character who was like impish and mischievous and labeled as bad, you know? And I think that's a recurring theme through all of the King Arthur stuff is that people tell her she's evil, you know? Um, if you're familiar with the Broadway musical Wicked or the book Wicked, another different, but the Wicked Witch of the West in that Elphaba, she's always told that she's evil, that she's wicked, and she's not. But finally, you just get to that point where you cave into it. That's how I feel the way Morgan Le Fay is she was a character and a goddess in this spirit that still exists that people have tried to demonize, quite literally, the Catholic Church did, over the years. And I don't think that she's bad. People always say, oh, the Morrigan is a goddess of death and sex, and like general darkness, like war and battle and stuff. And I just don't believe that. I mean, I do certainly think that that is part of her. But, I mean, that's a part of everybody. So I don't think that that should be, for me, again, just for me, I don't think that that should be her defining characteristics, And so for me, it's not. Um, when I was first getting into, like, the craft and magic in general and searching, trying to figure out where I fell in the spiritual realm of life, um, I really was drawn to Morgan Le Fay. And my very first dedication ritual I ever did was to Morgan Le Fay and to Shiva. And side note, yes, I'm very eclectic. I mix cultures and all sorts of things. But it was to Morgan Le Fay. And it's funny because I had this image back then. This was when I was about, I don't know, 18. Um, yeah, and I'm 26 now, so when I was 18, I did this ritual, and I envisioned her as wearing like this long, flowing green, solid green dress, really bushy, wild, like auburn hair. Totally don't see her that way after I had my first encounter with her. So I did this ritual, and I basically said, I want to, go on this magic path, and I'm dedicating myself to self improvement, blah blah blah. And Jesus Christ, like, the floodgates opened after that. My life went to crap. But it needed to. But it went to complete crap, and I had to rebuild everything. But it was necessary, because my life at that point was really built on really nothing, but was built on just shambles. It was just me scraping by. I was a mess. I was a mess. And so I wound up finally getting on my own after that, living by myself. And I bought this movie, this DVD, called The Mists of Avalon. And I picked it up because in high school I had friends and a teacher who kept suggesting that to me, but I never read it because the book, was like this big. I mean, I've since read it and own it and love it. But at the time I was just like, there's no way I'm ever going to read that. I'm too ADHD for that. Or ADD, whatever. And so I watched this alone in my apartment. Just me, the floor, and a TV. Nothing else. And I watched it one night after work. I was working at a bookstore at the time, and where I worked for many years. And I was completely blown away. It it was like suddenly the way I had felt about Morgan Le Fay was illustrated there for me. You know? Like the way I thought that surely she's not truly a villain. Well, that's like the crux of Mists of Avalon. If you haven't seen it or read it, you really should. It's so beautiful. But it's basically the myths of King Arthur told from the perspective of Morgan Le Fay, or in this case, Morgaine. And it was just beautiful. I was so touched by Vivienne and everyone in that movie. It was amazing. Amazing. And I bought the soundtrack to it. I still have it. And it really touched me and made me love this Morgan Le Fay even more. And I just researched her more and more and more, and the Morrighan, and I read everything I could. I still do, but everything I can get my hands on, fiction, nonfiction, it doesn't matter. Anything about her, I would read it. Anything with her in it, I would watch it. And, you know, I started doing vision quests and all of this and like trying to seek her out. And finally, one day, my friend and I, who's also pagan, we were out in these nature trails that we have in our town here. And we were walking down them, and there's like a cliff overhang over the water, like like a huge stone, you know, just kind of like stuck on the side that hangs off. It's really cool. Um, and we went out there, and I decided to try and meditate on that stone because it just seemed so. You know what I mean? Like when you're just drawn to a place, it just seems magical for whatever reason. I was drawn to that floating stone, you know, off the side of this cliff. Who wouldn't think that was magical, right? And I went and I sat on it and I closed my eyes, and immediately I saw myself being pulled through the stone, that stone that I was sitting on, and coming out on the other side of the stone into another realm. Like I went into the stone, came out the bottom of the stone, but my perception was coming out of the top of the stone, if that makes sense. And I was in this other realm that was very smoky, very mists of Avalon, right? And this woman started to walk to me closer and closer, wearing this long flowing gown. It was so gorgeous. Oh my god. Oh my god. And like her face was gorgeous, dark black hair. Oh my god. So beautiful. Um Somewhat reminiscent of the lead singer of Within Temptation, if you're familiar with that band. Very Sharon-esque. But um she came to me and I immediately knew who she was. And she, you know, exchanged stuff with me, like that she was, you know, kind of that she had chosen me, you know, and was gonna take me in and mother me and stuff. I'm sorry, but willing to mother me and stuff, you know. But she said it wasn't gonna be easy, and that her lessons and teachings weren't gonna be easy. But if I really wanted to better myself, you know, mm, that she would help me, and she has. I mean, that was back in 2000 and like 2008, and here we are now at the very end of 2015, and I'm still working with her, and she's amazing, amazing. She really kicks your ass though. The Morrighan or whatever, that spirit is nothing to play with. Oh my god. But if you feel her calling, I really encourage anyone who feels like they're called to her to just go for it. You know, she's amazing. And she's so much more than darkness and death and war and battle. Although initially that did definitely attract me to her. I was such an angsty teenager, but you know, just go for it. You know, work with her. Um, Morgan Le Fay, the Morrigan is, I think, a spirit, a goddess, a form that is incredibly powerful and is so different to other goddesses I've ever worked with. And I think that if you are in a rut in your life, or if you feel stagnant or without purpose or directionless, or generally even angry or mad, sad, depressed, unhappy, if you do have negativity that you feel like you can't shake, call on Morgan. I mean, seriously, she's amazing. She will make you get your crap out, you know? She will make you shed your skin. So, anyway, that's my piece on my goddess, I guess. My main goddess, matron. I don't really have a term for her. I just call her Mom or Morgan. She's just my spirit, you know? She's my spirit guide, my goddess that I worship, whatever. I don't really. Oh, you guys. This goes into much deeper topics, but that's it. And the Morgan is awesome, and I think if you're debating on working with her, I think you totally should. Because I think that anytime I don't. Oh, that's the thing too. I don't debate on who to work with. If I feel a calling to someone, I'll just work with them. Like, there's a reason you're wondering over them. You know, like should I or should I not? If they've come to you in your life, they're seeking you out. I think you should work with them no matter what. And it could be for just one day, one moment, but anytime you come across a god or goddess or plant or animal or whatever, and you feel like a curiosity about them, work with them. Go seek them out. Talk to them. All right. I guess that's it. Thanks.